Despite Fortnite Chapter 4 Season 3 already getting leaked through the key art, revealing half of the Battle Pass skins of 8, as you can see the 4 right here, today, believe it or not, more leaks have poured out regarding how the gameplay is going to be operating with new weapons, features that we can use, and so much more, which is why it's vital you stick around until the end of today's video. Real quick, if you want the next Battle Pass for completely free, Peely says you need to drop a like in 3, 2, 1, 8. Congratulations, enjoy your Battle Pass when it comes. Last video I asked you guys to name this emote, and here's a ton of hearted comments on screen right now that got it right. This now, however, is our new emote, so let me know what this is down below in the comments, and if you get it right and your comment gets hearted, it could be shown on screen in the next video. And considering we're incredibly close to 2.53 million subscribers, whilst you're clicking buttons, hit the button, turn on all notifications. After all, that only benefits you, as we do try and give different subscribers every single day, with proof for that on screen right now. It would put a giant smile on my face and cheer up Charlie the Charcoal Pug if you could enter code FM1 inside the Fortnite item shop right now. Literally, I believe one of the shortest codes to enter, and it greatly supports us and the channel. So diving straight into it all, yes, this season is no longer being further delayed past June 9th, although it got initially moved to here from June 2nd. Data miners confirmed this in the past few days, with it being put onto the staging servers, meaning, as FireMonkey states more simply here, it's ready for release anytime now. Despite the map change developments this season of not only earthquake cracks appearing around the outskirts of the newly introduced terrain area, mega city, and everything that came along surrounding it, with them growing more apocalyptic until June 9th, now as stated, this is the last stage of the earthquakes in the files and how they're gonna be occurring in terms of their frequency. If it wasn't already obvious by now, there is not a live event to end off this season. It's the first time we haven't seen the first live event of a chapter literally since Chapter 1, as Chapter 2 Season 2 had the first storyline related live event there, the device, and then as you can see on screen also, Chapter 3 Season 2 had the collision. As for how this relates to gameplay for next season, however, there may be a good reason behind this, however it may not be all that it seems that other people have been talking about. What I'm referring to is data miners not only confirming there is not a live event to end off this season, but of course other data miners have also stated that there's an event tag that will take place from the start date of the next season until like June 21st, and then it won't automatically put you into this, which many people speculated of course to be like the Zero Crisis finale from Chapter 2 Season 6, with Chapter 4 Season 3 already giving primal vibes with the reintroduction of one piece of wildlife that we only saw that season, raptors, that we can now ride, obviously from the key art that we've seen. Honestly, take this with a grain of salt. I definitely would love to see something developed off of after a trailer that we can actually interact with or are forced into to get a feel of the next season and the storyline progression. Of course, as we know now, Chapter 4 is ending after Chapter 4 Season 4, with Chapter 5 confirmed to be at the end of the year, as this is one of Epic Games' new priorities that they've designated literal teams toward, despite Fortnite X Lego and some other things on this list of information that Hypex tweeted out to do with like Harmonix, which is a company that they've acquired now to help out with live events involving music. Without getting too off track, of course, it's entirely possible we do see a startup event, which is what many people are anticipating. However, this event flag may simply be something as simple as playing the trailer on the news tab as soon as you load up for the first time, until the date specified when this event flag is going to end, rather than, you know, an event taking place like the Zero Crisis finale and then it not automatically putting you into it, instead having it as an LTM that you can play throughout the entirety of the season before it ends. As for where the storyline resides now from completing all of this season's syndicate quests anyways, you will get this loading screen of not only Stray and Mitsuki kind of fighting, but this one called Syndicates Unite, which basically summarizes that all of the conflicts between the syndicates, Fox Clan, the Peace Syndicate, and the River Guards has been squashed, and they're now working together to potentially out the Saboteur. You know, the character that deleted all the Last Reality files from the Peace Syndicate database, as the Last Reality is growing more of a forefront now throughout the development of this chapter, which I'm guessing, like Chapter 2's finale, are going to be largely involved as a faction ending it off, as they're already working on this live event according to Sheena and other data miners. This leak also was another huge misconception from the community. Of course they're working on a live event now, but it wasn't for this season. They're already working on what's codenamed for this live event, as you can see on screen right now, mentioned in the tweets. This very event being the Chapter 4 finale one, which I'm guessing is going to get revealed at FNCS Denmark, just like at FNCS Invitational last year. In person, the Chapter 3 finale fracture was revealed for the first time to be happening. As for official teasers, hopefully they do as good of a job as leading up to Chapter 4 Season 2 in terms of what they actually put out there officially, Epic Games, despite all of the Battle Pass being leaked literally before it released. With this being known by Epic Games, they of course started releasing teasers to do with the Battle Pass skins, and then even an introduction or welcome trailer the day prior to Chapter 4 Season 2 releasing. Only then on the release date of this season, we then saw the other two trailers released, being the gameplay trailer and also the cinematic. Perhaps this trailer was only released a day prior, considering the entire Battle Pass was leaked, in contrast to what's happening now, where only half of this Battle Pass has been leaked, being Optimus Prime, this tiger version of Meowscles right here, which is another selectable style of this one off the surveys, this mechanic skin off the surveys, and then this other variant of this dark, sinister looking variant of this character at the front, also from the surveys as well. well. This one's a little harder in terms of the correlation to see at first hand, but as you can see, speaking of the hands, the gloves specifically, they look the same or match up for both of these particular styles. As Optimus Prime has been confirmed by data miners and insiders that he isn't going to be the unlockable or collaboration skin, it's going to be Fortnite unique or exclusive in terms of its design for the first time in a while, as we saw Geralt of Rivia in Chapter 4 Season 1 and Eren Jaeger for this season, Chapter 4 Season 2, so we all thought Optimus Prime for that reason, being a collab, would then follow suit with this system, but instead it may be a collab skin like we saw Spider-Gwen in Chapter 3 Season 4 being the level 100 skin. Speaking of Optimus Prime, relating this to actual gameplay or our first indication or look toward what we'll be able to do in terms of using new weapons or features within Chapter 4 Season 3, although right here he may be holding a harvesting tool, it's not entirely impossible that this could be a new weapon that's been in the files for quite some time, being a new melee weapon, a throwable axe. As of right now, our melee weapon that we can use to traverse around the map in Chapter 4 Season 2 exclusively has been vaulted due to so many exploits with it, and considering it correlates to the Japanese or Neo Tokyo theme of this season, I highly doubt it'll be returning at any point unless it's for a limited time in a limited time event. If this isn't just a harvesting tool, perhaps this could also not only be a throwable axe and a melee weapon, but allow us to move like the kinetic blade did this season around the Chapter 4 Season 3 map. After all, considering this is a new weapon also shown for the first time on the key art, being a flintlock-like pistol, which I'm guessing, as Hypex stated in this tweet, looks like it's going to be another slow, hard-hitting shot pistol such as the flintlock, but obviously not knocking us anywhere. In the same tweet, he's also revealed a ton about new upcoming features in terms of gameplay mechanics that will be introduced from weapons, vehicles, and so much more, so let's dive into that right now. First of all, as you can see, helicopters are getting a launcher that shoots every 2 seconds and deals 35 damage and 450 builds damage. We actually got teased in this season, Chapter 4 Season 2, that helicopters would be returning, also kind of implying that this is going to be staying as a location, which we have further confirmation in just a second in Chapter 4 Season 3 as a map change despite the earthquakes. If it wasn't obvious as to why from the B-roll, yes, there's helipads on the top of some of the buildings, if not one of them at least, inside of Mega City. The second point he mentions about the lever pistol, which we've already covered. Third out of 5 on this list, which is the most interesting in my opinion, is that we're going to be seeing some sort of bolt action sniper. Not only that, but it's going to be epic and legendary rarity, a thermal scoped one, and it will deal 116 to 121 damage normally and 290 to 303 headshot damage with a 3-second reload. As for our first mythic boss, of course, one that we now have confirmed to be in the jungle POI, which we have our first look at again from the key art asset. I know I keep referring to it, but it did reveal a lot. Many people believe this to be the 4th out of 5 on this list, the mythic drum gun, which actually will deal 73 body damage and 109 headshot damage with a slower fire rate and 3-second reload. And last of all on this list, apparently nobody noticed anyways that the infantry rifle and also lever action shotguns got updated last season, being Chapter 4 Season 1, so they may be unvaulted. With that concluding that list, despite choppers being the first thing mentioned and not the only vehicle we're going to be seeing unvaulted but now have a purpose outside of traversing us around the map, data miners have also revealed files about armoured cars coming next season, or armoured trucks or vehicles potentially looking like this, which of course fits the jungle theme as it would be more protected from wildlife, especially with raptors running around now. And speaking of that, considering it gives Jurassic Park vibes even more, I'm not saying they're going to do an entire collaboration, but as the Baller vehicle was used in one of the most recognised or recent modern movies, as files were updated for the Baller literally seasons ago, and it was introduced in Chapter 1 Season 8 for the first time, and considering the theme of Chapter 4 Season 3 being tropical correlates as it's Chapter 1 in reverse, Chapter 4 to Chapter 1 Season 8, it would be the perfect time to unvault these, especially given everything I've mentioned to do with the raptors being reintroduced. I'm curious to know as well which out of the other survey skins, all of the ones unreleased on screen right now that I'm scrolling through or you're seeing footage of, would you like to see? Of course, there's already 4 skins revealed right here from the key artwork assets, and we see 8 skins every battle pass, so there's 4 still off of here that potentially could all be upcoming or be plucked off it by Epic Games that they've already got models of that they just haven't revealed. Personally, I'd like to see these as like Chapter 1 Season 8 again. We got the first silly skin being Peely, or one of the most notable anyways, so it would be cool to get this giant parrot, if not at least one of his variants. Speaking of the skins that we already have an official look at, however, some of these could actually be the codename in the files under what G-Matrix Games revealed out of the 6 right here in terms of Battle Pass cosmetics. Don't get it twisted, these are not 100% confirmed codenames of just the skins. He specifically states cosmetics, so it may be anything the codename that is in the Battle Pass, whether it be a smaller cosmetic like a back bling, harvesting tool, you name it. As for where this jungle biome will actually be placed, however, many people have been tracking the earthquakes, and obviously it makes the most sense now for where they're occurring for this to sprout up in the middle. The only thing that goes against this idea that it could be in the centre of the map, or more so central than, you know, the likes of the Mega City was introduced on the outskirts, is this tweet from Firemonkey right here basically breaking down that Fortnite Espanol basically revealed some map changes that that will be happening, or should I say staying next season, that are already here right now. As you can see, it's a very long tweet, but the most interesting or notable part that you need to know about, summarising it all up to do with the themes and dates of everything that's going to be happening. Based on these themes, he states it would appear that Megacity and medieval areas such as the Citadel should be sticking around for next season. So does that mean Anvil Square as well? If so, maybe perhaps it stays, but then the jungle literally starts just on the outskirts of it. I guess we'll have to wait and see. With Megacity staying though, of course, that means the grind rails and at least some of the areas, I'm guessing they're going to be taken out of a lot of the places now, as they obviously appeal to the theme of Chapter 4 Season 2, or maybe in the areas that perhaps the contrast of themes are, where it's like the Citadel, which is medieval theme, but then these are kind of futuristic movement mechanics, they get replaced with what Meowscles seems to be grinding on right here, the tree roots. And with saving the best till last today in terms of what's going to be introduced or even shown off for the first time in the gameplay or cinematic trailer to do with actual gameplay itself, you may have noticed once again from the key artwork asset these particular locations, which I don't know if we're going to be able to crawl in, as kind of like these jungle prison things from Minecraft. That's the only thing that kind of comes to mind in terms of comparing it for me. Anyways, many people have pointed out that the shape of this correlates to the shape of the chest on this character right here, and also this other selectable style variant, which seems to be the original before actually morphing, holding up this particular fragment. And speaking of this character, somebody over on Twitter made a very plausible theory about this being the secret or unlockable skin correlating to the storyline in a way nobody expected. Here's the full post. Okay, I may have discovered something that was forgotten for so long. If you did the alien quest back in Season 6 that was a build-up for Season 7 of Chapter 2, you might remember Mare. She would make podcasts for her alien podcast show Hot Saucers, and before the season she went missing out of thin air. She was never heard of or spoken of again. Now today we're in Chapter 4, 2 chapters later, and I was playing with my friends on Fortnite and realised the survey skin, this might be the missing Mare that was taken by the aliens or Last Reality and was captured until she made into a Last Reality creature. This is definitely an interesting theory and gives me vibes of Marigold, you know, from this trailer being an explorer. Here's what the character could look like in the Last Reality morph form, however, that my thumbnail design has made a 3D model of early, so yep, this is what it could look like in the Battle Pass. Hopefully if a character like this is introduced, however, and we do get some more side lore coming more of a forefront now to make sense of everything, or being introduced as it's interesting, as Mari will have a backstory if this is her. Fingers crossed then we get more of the backstory of the origin coming to a forefront of the storyline, as he initially was King of the Cubes or the Cube King alongside the Cube Queen before he joined the Seven. Drop a like if you like the sound of that or learn anything new today, and subscribe to the channel if you're new with all notifications turned on so that you don't miss any future breaking news or leaks that are pouring out by the day. But as for where you go to now, click this video I picked out for you on screen whilst you wait for the very next upload I do publish on the channel.